Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Unlearning podcast. My name is Leslie Cottle, and today's episode is called I Started a YouTube and 5 Tips on How to Feel Confident Sharing Your Own Voice. So, I started a YouTube channel. My goal, of course, is to be able to monetize the channel, and I'm really excited about it because this is a way that I'm going to be able to share more practices and more experiences with you guys in a new way that's actually absolutely free. And so, of course, my goal is to monetize the channel. First, though, if you guys want to help me out, my first milestone is to hit 100 subscribers because that means I can then customize the URL. So I'm really excited about that. I also started recording the podcast on video. So you'll start to see all of my podcasts on the channel. And starting with last week's episode 46, I believe. I think this is episode 47. All of the podcasts are going to be recorded. So this will be super fun. And yeah, so I'm really excited. Also, if you guys have any ideas for videos, I would love to hear from you. As always, you can message me on Instagram. And yeah, I'm super excited. So how to share your voice. I am going to tailor this message and tweak it just a little bit for the people who are out there who know that they have a message that they are supposed to be sharing with the world, with their community, with their family, whoever it is. It's just, that you have a very specific message to share. And in one way or the other, you are getting in your own way. So you're either holding yourself back, you're doubting yourself, you're doubting your message. And I wanted to talk and give you 5 tips on how to share your voice because I think it's so important to share your voice. I don't know if you guys know about human design, but my throat chakra in human design is not defined. And so I've spent a lot of time studying the voice, studying how to use my voice, practicing using my voice. And I've had a long journey to being able to share my voice because I used to be so insecure about the message I was sharing. I didn't think I did enough research. I didn't like the way my voice sounded. I judged myself hardcore. And it's so funny because when I listened to the meditations that I recorded when I would judge myself, and when I listened to the trainings that and the videos, everything that I had, when I listen back to them now, with this different mentality where I have a lot of non-judgment towards myself, where I really believe that we're here just showing up, we're doing the best that we can, and I'm not judging myself for what it is that I'm presenting to the world, because I know that the right message is going to come through first, and the people who are meant to hear it are the people who are going to hear it. So when I listen back to everything now, I look at myself with this new lens and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was just as good then as I am now. And that hits hard because back then it's just really had to do with the mentality. It didn't have anything to do with, and of course, a little bit with experience and being a little bit more seasoned in your craft. But I didn't have necessarily anything now that I didn't have then besides the confidence. And so I want to give you these 5 tips if you are feeling really called to share a message, because you're meant to share it. Maybe part of your journey is not being able to share, but you're 100% meant to share this with people. So the first tip is self-validation. So many times we are looking for validation outside of us. And when it comes to sharing your message, that is an internal knowing. That's nothing a coach can tell you. It's nothing your best friend can tell you. It's nothing I don't know, a psychic or a tarot reader could tell you, it's not that these people don't tell you those things, that they're not reflecting back to you how powerful you are and what a great speaker you are and what message it is that you have to share. But that self-validation means that coming from within, tuning in with the heart and having that internal knowing of what it is that you're meant to share and what it is that you're doing, and the confidence in what it is that you're doing. So the first thing you need to do is not look for validation outside of yourself, but begin to find that validation within yourself. The second thing is about non-judgment. So there are going to be times that you're showing up at different energy levels, at different excitement levels, at different expertise levels, and at different parts of your life where like sometimes you're going to have just more energy to show up and more bandwidth to show up in different ways. And so you can't judge each of those days that you have. You have to just allow all of them to be the day that you're showing up, and that be you in your best moment, showing up the best that you can, not judging or comparing yourself to different days. And when you're also showing up, it's allowing yourself to really see yourself fully, to accept yourself fully, and to love yourself fully in everything that you're doing. The third thing is about listening, and it's about the practice of listening to yourself when you speak. If your message, the more you say your message, the more you're going to resonate with that message yourself, see what works for you and what doesn't, the more you're going to be able to bounce ideas off people and see what like really excites you and how it excites other people. So listening back to yourself after you've created something is a really important part of the process. I knew this news anchor, this woman years ago, and one of her tips was always about how she re-listened and rewatched herself every single time that she got on air, which was every single day. She basically showed up to work and was on television. And then every single day, she would also watch herself back and see what she wanted to shift and what she wanted to change, and how she could have done better. And going into that is number 4, which is making self-improvement an act of love and not a self of hate. Making self-improvement an act of self-love. Oh yeah, and not of self-hate. So we're not hating ourselves and that's why we're improving. We're loving ourselves and that's why we're improving. We're also, again, with the not judgment, improving. So I'll use YouTube as an example since that's really one of my focuses lately. But improving on YouTube for me is writing better SEO. It's maybe like making my intros a little better or my outros a little better. It's creating better tags. It's not about me judging myself on how specifically I'm showing up and the performance that I'm doing that day. It's about just loving myself through the process and making sure that the improvements are actually tangible, one, and things that like are supporting me and lifting me up rather than bringing me down. And then the 5th and last tip is about play, and just don't be so serious. We think that everything is so serious, and playing is really the key to and like being creative and to getting out of that mindset. Basically getting out of the mind and into the heart is what we're doing when we're playing. And when you have fun is when people are also having the most fun with you. So whatever message it is that you're sharing, if you can take yourself not so seriously, right? Like take it down just a little notch, because you don't have to be perfect. And honestly, it's so much more fun to relate to people who are not perfect, but just allow what happens to happen. And by letting go of control, by allowing yourself to surrender, that's when you're really going to have the most impact, because you are leading with example, which is just showing up the best that you can. And the thing I also want to leave you guys with before we get off is a letter that Martha Graham wrote to one of her colleagues. And this, I just love this letter, this quote. It's so good. And so I'll read it. There's a vitality, a life force, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium and be lost. The world will not have it. It is not your business to determine how good it is, nor how valuable it is, nor how it compares with other expressions. It is your business to keep it yours clearly and directly, to keep the channel open. You do not even have to believe it in yourself or in your work. You have to keep open and aware directly to the urges that motivate you. Keep the channel open. No artist is pleased. There is no satisfaction whatsoever at time. There is only a queer, divine dissatisfaction, a blessed unrest that keeps us marching and makes us more alive than the others. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I love you so much. Take care. Tune in Tuesdays for more yummy and soulful episodes. If you love what you're hearing and want to support the podcast, please follow and rate the podcast on Spotify and Apple to help new listeners find us. To find out more about my coaching and healing practice, head over to my website, www.lesliecottle.com. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.